Welcome back to Math is Easy, Step by Step. In this part 60 video, we're continuing to convert fractions into decimal, but instead of adding, we're going to be subtracting fractions in decimal form. So we have 12/13 minus 3/7. So do these fractions look a little bit familiar to you? Well, this time we'll be subtracting and we'll not be adding, and they are opposite order. I think in another example problem, I had 3/7 at the beginning. I had 12/13 at the end, so they kind of swap places here. What's the very first thing you want to do to these fractions? I know you know it. I know you say convert fractions into decimals. You're absolutely right. Now it's getting too easy for you. You know exactly what to do, right? Because every fraction is a division problem. 12 divided by 13. 3 divided by 7. All right, let's get to those conversions. All right, so you can see this here. 12 divided by 13 is equal to 12 divisor bar 13. And since I've gone over these very slowly in the prior videos, 58 and 59, in this part 60 video, I'm just going to go through this a little bit quicker. So 3 times what number gets me 12? 0. 3 times 9 gets me closest to 120. That's 117. 120 minus 117 leaves me a 3. Bring down the 0. My new target is 30. 13 times 2 gets me 26. 30 minus 26 is 4. Bring down my other 0. My new target is 40. 13 times 3 is 39. 40 minus 39 is 1. Bring down my 0. 13 times 0. There's no number times 13 that gets me 10. So I put a 0. Now I bring down my other 0. I have a new target of 100. 13 times 7 gives me 91. I can subtract 91 from 100. 100 minus 91 gives me a remainder of 9. So you can say that 12 divided by 13, or 12/13 is equal to 0.92307. Okay, so I just want to clearly show that 12/13 is equal to 0.92307. I wanted to clarify that. I think my tongue got in the way and I got a little tongue-tied earlier, and I wanted to clarify the value. Hey, let's convert 3/7 into a decimal. Okay, so as you see here, 3/7, or 3 divided by 7, is 3 divisor bar 7. Showing the invisible decimal, raising it above the divisor bar. Again, I had shown you this long division in, I think, part 59B or 58A, excuse me. And so I'm going to go kind of quickly through here, assuming that you watched that video. So 7 times no number gives me 3. What about 30? 7 times 4 gets me closest to 30. It's 28. So I'll subtract 28 from 30. That leaves me a remainder of 2. Bring down your 0. Now 20 is my new target. 7 times 2 gets me 14, closest to 20 without going over. 20 minus 14 is 6. Bring down your 0, and there you got your new target of 60. 7 times 8 is 56. So I'm going to subtract 56 from 60, and I get 4. Bring down the 0, and now 40 is your new target. So 7 times what number gets me closest to 40? 7 times 5 is 35. So like I had mentioned, 7 times 5 is 35. I'll subtract 35 from my target of 40. That leaves me a 5. Bring down your other 0. You have your new target of 50. So 7 times what number gets me closest to 50? 7 times 7 is 49. 50 minus 49 leaves me a remainder of 1. All right, so there are the values and the digits above the divisor bar. And that last 7 times 7 gave me 49. I subtracted 49 from 50, which left me a remainder of 1. Okay, so here you can see the decimal equivalents of 12/13 and 3/7, right? And in the original problem, it was 12/13 minus 3/7. So what does that equal? Well, 12/13 is 0.92307. So that goes first. That's going to be on top. Minus the 0.42875, which will be on the bottom. That represents the 3/7. Right? So when we're going to stack these values up, remember we got to line up the decimals and then we subtract. So the 12/13 decimal equivalency will be on top, and the 3/7 decimal equivalency will be on the bottom. Hey, let's stack up those decimal values. Let's check that out now. Okay, so as you can see, 12/13 as a decimal is right here on top, minus 3/7, and the decimal equivalency here is on the bottom. And we've stacked them, keeping the decimal lined up, right? So now we're going to be subtracting. There's something I wanted to point out up here, right? Can you subtract 5 from 0? No. So you have to borrow from the 3. And so can you subtract 8 from 3? No, right? You can't do that either. You had to borrow from the 2. That becomes a 1. Can you subtract 2 from 1? No. So we're going to start all the way down here with the 9. I'm going to borrow a value from a 9, which turns it into an 8. That would make this value of a 2 into a 12. But I got to borrow for 12 to turn this 3 into a 13. I got to borrow from the 13, which becomes a 12, to turn the 0 into a 10. So that's one way to look at it, or another way to look at it is you can do it one at a time. I need to borrow from the 3 to turn that 0 into a 10. But that 3 became a 2. I can't subtract 8 from 2, so I have to borrow from the 2 here, which becomes a 1, and turns that 2 into a 12. I can't take away 2 from 1, so I had to borrow from the 9, becomes an 8, and that 1 becomes 11. So now I can subtract 2 from 11. So I want to make sure I clarify that before I move forward and showing you this next procedure. Okay, let's get her done. 7 minus 7 is 0. Again, I had to borrow from the 3, which becomes a 2, to turn this 0 into a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. The 3, which became a 2 because I borrowed from it, that 2 is too small. I cannot take away 8 from 2, so I borrowed from the 2 here, which became a 1. Now that 2 has turned into a 12. 12 minus 8 is 4. I cannot take away 2 from 1, so again, I had to borrow from the 9, which became an 8, and turned that 1 into an 11. Now, 11 minus 2 is 9. Okay, and 8 minus 4 is 4. We keep the decimals lined up. 0 minus 0 is 0. Hopefully that's making some sense to you. Hey, let's look over these place values one more time. All right, so as you can see here, starting to the left of the decimal, we have our ones place. That's a 0 in the ones place. To the right of the decimal is our tenths place. Over from the decimal is our hundredths place. 3 over from the decimal is our thousandths place. 4 over to the right of the decimal is the 10,000ths place. And 5 over from the decimal to the right is our 100,000ths place. Hopefully this is helping out. Hey, let me give you some internet worksheet suggestions so you can practice these new, or if you're reviewing these skills. All right, you want to conduct an internet search for worksheets with answers on the following: converting fractions into decimals, long division, easy, medium, hard, adding and subtracting decimals, converting improper fractions into decimals, and understanding decimal place values. So these will help you get started and doing an internet search so you can practice your skills. Remember, you want answers because you want to be able to look and know if you're doing it right or wrong. You're doing it right, keep doing it. You're doing it wrong, look through your steps, find your mistakes. It's the golden road to knowledge. Math is easy. Take it step by step. Thank you for joining me. If I've helped you, please help me to help others. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Thank you for your time.